Hello and welcome to For Better For Worse, a podcast about marriage and relationships and everything that comes with those, the trials and tribulations.
All that shit.
All that jazz.
What are we talking about this week?
We are talking about growing up. So growing up from when we grew up in the 80s, the 90s onwards.
Yeah.
And comparing it to how, say, Alfie, his generation, and what he...
Our son. So basically
Yes.
how that is now and,
Yeah,
and
and
all
how
that
it-
sort of stuff.
Yeah.
We should probably start with us then, really.
Yeah.
So what was it? I mean, this is such a bad subject for me to talk about because, not because I had a bad childhood, but because my memory's awful. Like, it's so bad. I've thought back to, like, childhood, like, a few times when people tell stories about stuff. And it's like, oh, I remember when I was there. Do you know what? I just don't.
I don't get it when people say, oh, I remember when I was 3. No, you don't.
Well, start there. What's your earliest memory? Like, honestly, but I can't. I'm not. Don't throw it back to me because I can't tell you. I can remember stuff that happened.
Yeah, but you don't know when.
But
it
I
happened.
can't tell you. I could have been 10. I could have been 4. I've got no idea. So I can't really. It's a bit different for you, isn't it? Because you can sort of categorize your childhood.
Yeah.
Maybe you should explain that first.
Okay, well, me growing up, I was obviously born in Wales. I'm not going to say where, because, you know. Oh, actually, no.
Wrexham.
Wrexham.
Yeah, who
Yeah.
cares?
Why not? Wrexham's on the map
Our
now.
other podcast is called Me, the Wife, and
Yes.
Wrexham AFC. So I think people probably
I was born
know.
in Liverpool. No, yeah, I was born in Wrexham. But when I was 6 weeks old, I moved to Germany, to Paderborn in Germany. I'm sure that's where it was. Yeah, because my dad was in the army. So yeah.
So you moved about a lot.
A lot. I've
Yeah.
probably had a hell of a lot more schools than you've ever been to.
Well, that's the thing. Like, that's what I mean when you say you can categorize your childhood, because you can go,
Yeah.
right, I was here until I was this age. I was here till I was this age. I was there and there and there. And it's easy for you. But where we're completely different is where you lived in lots of places and where you went to lots of schools. I lived in the same house
Yeah,
on the same road from when I was born
yeah,
till when I left as an adult.
Yeah.
You know, we never moved. So that's where we're completely different. And I think maybe that's why I can't, because everything was always the same.
everything happened in that house.
Everything happened in that one house. So I can't, or I've just got a really bad memory. I don't know. I think, do you know, I think what it is, you know, when you get older, I think what my brain does, my brain sort of goes, I'm not a very sentimental person. I don't really look back at pictures and stuff like that, do I, really?
I can vouch for that, because every time I show him a picture of when Alfie was a baby, he's like, ah.
Yeah,
But you can tell he's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but no,
And
because
that's his own child.
yeah, but I guess because I lived it. So I pictures and old stuff doesn't really. I'm not really that sort of person to look back at it. I don't know. And I think looking back at memories sometimes makes you more sad than it does happy, because it makes you realise you're getting old.
Yeah.
And so
And some of the people that were around when you were
yeah.
are sadly no longer around.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
it does.
Yeah, it does. So yeah. Anyway, like I say, I can't categorize years and stuff like that. So what is your earliest memory as a child?
I think when I lived in Lulworth in Dorset, we used to, I think I was about, well, I was in Lulworth first school, so obviously that was like the first school that you went to. So I'm saying about 4,
Okay.
because in England, obviously, you're 4 when you start school.
Yeah.
But obviously in Wales, you're 3. So I was about 4, maybe 5. And I can just remember where we used to live. There was like obviously it was a housing estate. And behind us, the houses behind us were where all the officers lived. You know, where all the higher up ranks.
Yeah.
So they were posh, big houses. It wasn't a horrible house that we lived in, obviously, but in front of us we had this big forest.
So were you in like a barracks? Is that
The barracks was close by.
So-
We were in army quarters.
so? It's all like the same thing. So it's like you got the barracks over there, you got the houses over here. Was it like a little town? No. Okay, I don't know what we're talking about. So.
It wasn't like Balamory.
No, I didn't mean it was like Balamory. But
So yeah, I can remember like the address and everything. It was far. Oh, was it? It was Vale Road. I remember that. And there was this big forest in front of us. You had to walk down to it, but we called it the Bluebell Wood, because there was just loads of bluebells. And
inventive name.
I know, we were kids. And I just remember going down there, and like, this is one of the things that obviously now I would not allow, I wouldn't like Alfie to do, but we used to go down to this wood, and my brother and all our friends, we used to spend hours in there in the bluebell field, making mud pies and just being kids. And you
Yeah.
could stay out for so long when we were kids.
I didn't really do that as a kid, you know. I didn't really sort of like live on a road where, you know, like we were talking about this the other day, where I think you said you sort of lived in a cul-de-sac, and like all the kids in the cul-de-sac used to play out on the street and stuff like that together. I never did that. I lived, as you well know, where my mum and dad still live now.
Yeah.
Quite a busy main road.
Yeah.
You know, and the house was quite well set back from that road, but there was no real sort of place where all the kids on the road. And the other thing is, the road that I lived on is about 6 miles long.
Yeah.
So, you know, it wasn't like all the kids on the road got together and played out
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So that's where I think we're quite different as well.
Yeah, I think we probably had different childhoods anyway, because of the nature of.
What was it? Yeah, I get what you mean. What was it like moving around, though? Was it like always being the new kid in school, and then moving again, and then settling, and then moving? Were you not bothered, or?
I don't think it bothered me. Maybe it set me back a bit. I don't know. I'm not because the thing is, when you move, basically the whole regiment moves.
Oh, is that what happens?
That's what
is
happened.
it?
You don't just move on your own. Basically, the
Oh.
regiment go, right, you're going here. So then you move.
So did all the kids did they go to the same school that you went to when you moved then?
Not necessarily, because where we lived, there was like, even though it was like army quarters, there may have been people in different regiments.
Right.
So although you may have made friends with people,
Yeah.
their dads or mums or whoever's in the
Yeah.
army, which parent was in the army, they would obviously move to a different place. So sometimes you were like really close. There was one girl who I've actually just recently got back in touch, and we used to. This is when we lived in a house called it was in Bramsveg. That was my favourite house. I loved it because it was three stories high, and it was amazing. But some of the people that were in the same regiment, I've known since I was a baby. Like, my parents are still friends with their parents. They like go on holiday and everything together. So I don't think it bothered me. In answer to your question, I don't think it bothered me. Because all I remember is I would just remember being happy as a child. I never went without, I wasn't spoiled.
You were?
Yeah, I was.
You definitely were. You've told me stories about your childhood. You were definitely. What about like holidays and stuff? Did you always go on holiday, or because you were moving, did you not go on holiday very much?
I think we pretty much went on holiday every year. But because we lived in Germany,
Yeah.
I just remember we drove to places like Spain and Italy.
Because you were on mainland Europe.
Because we were literally, yeah.
Do you know where we used to go a lot? We used to go. Do you know Jersey?
I've never been, but
No,
yeah, I know.
no,
I've heard
but
of it.
it's British, but
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
to get a plane,
Yeah,
and it was always a little propeller plane, and it's like I
Ugh.
think it's closer to France than it is to the UK.
yeah.
Always really hot. We used to go to Pontins. I don't know how many people have heard of Pontins these days, but it was always like Pontins and Butlins, and we went to Pontins in Jersey, and we used to go there all the time, and I used to love that. But that was always it's sort of like a UK holiday, but that you had to go on a plane to.
So it was like you were going abroad.
Yeah,
well, I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
if it was hot enough, it is like going
Yeah,
abroad,
yeah, yeah.
isn't
It was
it?
always boiling. I remember it being
Yeah.
boiling all the time. And I remember when I was 10, my mum and dad took me to Florida for 2 weeks. We went to Florida for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I know you went to Florida as well, because weirdly, when we got married, not long before we got married, we had a photo. We discovered photos of us both trying to pull the sword out the stone in Disney. What is it? Disney World, Disneyland, whatever
I'm not sure.
is.
Whichever one's in Florida.
Yeah. We went. So we were both pulling the sword out the stone, and we had that in front of us at our wedding. You doing your but it was like the photos were taken at the same time.
It was
which
weird.
was weird because
but we know that we
we
it's
didn't
not
go
one
at the
of
same time.
Yeah, it's not one of those amazing romantic love stories where,
No,
oh
where
my
I'm
God,
in
you
the
were
background of
together
you.
and-
Yeah,
no.
when you were 10, and there's me in the background, and me like Florida Marlins.
No, because I think
top.
you went at completely. We went in
Oh
August,
yeah.
and
Yeah,
you were,
we went
so
to a completely different
we
time.
could lie and say that that's how we met, but no.
No, it really
It
isn't. It
wasn't.
really isn't. What were you like with like hobbies and stuff when you were growing up?
I wasn't really like a hobby type of kid, but I remember going to ballet, jazz, and tap. No, I didn't go to tap. That's a lie. Modern jazz and ballet, I did. And yeah, I mean that was a hobby that I did for a few years, but I've never really been like, I've never been a runner or a gymnast or a football or anything like that. But yeah, that's the probably. Do you know what? That's probably the only hobby that I had. It's dancing.
Dancing, and you couldn't be further from a dancer, could you? Really? Now I
Hey,
know
could
it's a
throw
long
some shapes back in the day.
See, mine was football, so I started playing
Pretty standard
football.
for a young boy, yeah.
I'd say so. And it was football, and I started playing for a local team called Brickfield when I was 9. Was I 9? It must have been under 10s. So I was 9 or 10. And played for them for years. So I was 16 maybe. Yeah, loved playing football. Towards the end though, got really bored with it. Getting up on cold.
Girls.
Yeah.
Girls were around.
Yeah, they were, but I'm not sure that it was just I got bored. I was good.
I was going to say, was it because you were crap? And
No,
that's why you got
I was
bored?
good. I played for Wrexham and District. We went on a tour of Germany, did that whole thing. I was good, but I just got so bored of playing, and I didn't find it enjoyable anymore when I got to that age, and getting up on cold Saturday mornings and having to go out and play. I could never have been a professional. I could have been a professional if they played through the summer. But the playing in the winter was just the worst. It was
That's one thing I don't get
Wow.
about football is that, I mean, I love going to watch it and, we'll go in all weathers. But that's one thing I never understood was why the season is like August.
As opposed to like cricket, which is a summer sport. And they
Yeah.
don't play. I don't know really, but yeah, I just the winter killed me.
Yeah.
I did, and when the winter rolled round, it was just like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to get out of bed to be freezing and rained on and slide about in the mud anymore. I can't be bothered with it. I think music was the biggest one for me. I got
Yeah.
into music at quite a young age. I learned to play the guitar because I wanted to be Noel Gallagher. And then I did that. And then I was like writing songs, and that was my thing. And obviously, for anyone who knows me, I've got a lot of tattoos, and I've got one whole arm, which is just music related. I picked like my 10 favorite albums of all time. And then
that took you ages.
yeah, I
wasn't it?
did.
'Cause you
And then I've got them
yeah.
all sort of tattooed on my arm. So I think music was a big thing, because when you get to a teenager, everyone changes as a teenager, I think.
I'm not sure I ever did.
No, maybe not, but everyone. I think boys definitely do.
Yeah.
They become a bit more. You just want to I was an only child as well, so I just wanted to be on my own a lot, and I liked and music and came at the right time for that because you could just lock yourself away and play your guitar and write
Yeah.
songs and do all that sort of thing. So that was that was cool, and that was a big thing for me when I was
Cool. You
growing up.
sounded so old then.
Well, it was
I'm not
cool.
sure a 42-year-old can say cool.
Well, I am, so I have that. But no, it's huge for me. Music was listening to it, playing it, writing it. It was just it was the best.
Why don't you do that anymore?
Because I've got a full-time job which knackers me out, and then I come home and then I cook dinner, and then we sit down and we chill out for a bit, and then I'm so tired I don't want to move, and then that's life, innit?
Yeah, sadly.
That is life. But do you? So you said I don't really think when you said I changed as a teenager. I think boys do. Do you not think you did?
No,
You
I'm still.
must have.
No, I did. I think I started to change when I got into year 10 and 11 in high school. I was never like one of these girls that was like, I was never the popular girl in school. But as I got into year 10 and 11, I started to get more friends. More boys started to fancy me. So I kind of thought,
Big head.
well, it is what it is.
When was your first boyfriend?
16.
16.
I had my first kiss when I was 16.
So when you said like you go into secondary school, more boys started fancying you.
I didn't do anything about it.
So you waited 5 years to get your first boyfriend.
Yeah, I was in college.
I don't know when I think I had weirdly now this is a bit weird, but I had a girlfriend in primary school, which was weird.
I think
but
a lot of people do, though, don't they?
I don't know really, because it was just like it was obviously girlfriend by name only. It was like never held hands, never nothing. It was just by name purely. Yeah, that is my girlfriend. And it was like that for like 2 years, and then I switched classes when I was in primary school
Why?
because I was so clever. No, you joke, right? But I was quite advanced in a lot of stuff that I did, and they had 2 classes, which they always claimed were equal. But when they moved me, they claimed they were moving me because they were moving me to a brighter class. So they clearly weren't equal, were they, for them to move me to another class? But yeah, and then after that, I was probably quite late as well. I wasn't one of the popular kids
No.
either. Like the in-betweeners.
Mm.
That was me and my mates. We weren't the lowest of the low in the pecking order of school, but we certainly weren't the cool kids either. We were the in-betweeners. We were very much in the middle. I came into my own. My school. So obviously, when you get to the end of year, whatever is it, 11? You then go off to college, but the school I went to had a sixth form, which I know a lot of schools do, some don't.
The in-betweeners too.
The in-betweeners do, yeah, exactly. And
Which one are you?
I don't know really.
I think you are Will.
No, I wasn't Will. No, not
Oh,
Will.
Simon.
I'd say. For me, I would say I was probably closer to Simon than any of the other ones.
Yeah.
I would say so. Yeah. I definitely had. There was not in the close group. There was a definite J in there though, who absolutely bullshitted about everything. So there was definitely one of them.
There's always one, isn't there?
Yeah, there is always one. But yeah, I came into my own in sixth form.
Yep.
Because the cool kids tend to be quite thick. I know that's awful, but the cool kids in school tend to be
they don't care.
They tend to be the naughty ones
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And when they left, I think I unconsciously saw an opportunity to be the leader of the nerds, and I just sort of took a step forward, and I think my personality,
the leader of the nerds,
I think my personality really grew, and I became really confident at that point in my life. I think that's the that's the time when the Ryan that we all know started to form. Because I think it's always a bit awkward, school. And I was never completely comfortable with who I was in school as a person, because you want to be the cool kid, but I was level-headed enough to
Not to be an
know
idiot.
it's sort of, I did get led a bit at times and did some naughty stuff, but at the same time I knew that you have to do well in school to do anything in life. So I didn't want to be one of the cool kids and one of the naughty kids all rolled into one, but I just wanted to be cool and still be all right at schoolwork and stuff. And I'm not sure the two go hand in hand.
No, no,
Maybe.
I don't. So obviously that's what, we remember as children. Do you remember like I don't know, like the things that we used to have compared to the things that kids have these days?
Well, I think the biggest one in answer to that is, obviously, if you look at our son now, he's an only child. I think we probably spoil him a bit too much, and we will both yeah,
100%.
and we will both admit that
Yeah,
that we do that.
yeah,
And I think if you just look at some of the stuff that he has, I, it's awkward because he's got an iPhone.
he has.
He's got an iPad.
He has.
He's got an Xbox.
He has.
He's got a Meta Quest.
He's got a MacBook.
All this stuff. He's got all
Oh
this.
my God, he is spoiled.
He is, right. But that wasn't all bought at once. That was, over, birthdays, Christmases, all
Yeah.
that sort of stuff. And, but when we look back, we didn't have any of that.
No.
We didn't have any of that stuff. And
Well, for a start, mobile phones weren't even invented.
no, but I think when I was talking about music before, I think I was more, what shall I say, creative with music because I didn't have the distractions of
An Xbox.
or something like that. Yeah. So I'm not sure I would have been into music or written as much music as I did if I would have had phones and YouTube and TikTok that he just sits there and fucking scrolls through constantly, one video to another video to another video. Don't get me wrong, right? There's times when I will sort of look at something on YouTube and then there'll be another related video and I might go to that and I might go to that.
Get into the scroll hole.
Wow, I couldn't sit there for hours and just scroll through TikTok video after TikTok video. Just shit after dickhead talking crap about all this stuff. I couldn't do it. It looks mind-numbing.
Some of our TikToks appear on his on Alfie's FYP, so it's not all that bad.
No.
So as a kid, I remember, I'm not an only child. I have an older brother who's 2 years older than me, who we fought, like, we had our good days, but we pretty much just fought like cat and dog. When we were growing up, we are pretty close now. I love my brother. I mean, I loved him then, but as an adult, love him even more. He's given me 2 gorgeous nephews. I've got a fantastic sister-in-law. So I think, again, I think our childhood, or my childhood compared to how Alfie's is, it's probably, forget the material things. I think Alfie's childhood is probably similar to yours. But obviously these days, if Alfie is, goes upstairs on his own, we know he talks to his friends over his phone or over at the Xbox or what have you. But if you were on your own, you were on your own.
Yeah, I get that. But like I say, I think that promoted more creativity. Although, having said that, I think technology promotes creativity as well.
It can.
I am not so narrow-minded as there's a lot of older people sometimes see technology as a barrier to things like communication and like sort of creativity and things like that. Now, I'm a bit in the middle of this because I do see it as a barrier to communication and especially face-to-face communication. But and creativity as well. But I see it as a massive window of opportunity. Technology. We're very much right in the middle of this. Alfie will see technology as, I can create this and I can create that, and it very much draws creativity out of people.
Yeah.
But like older people will see it as a complete barrier to that, but we're in that generation in the middle of,
Well,
of
we
people
sort of didn't have it,
we didn't have it,
and then we had it.
yeah, but we didn't have it. So, but we also see the benefits of it for creativity. Even games, I see benefits of, in certain ways in games,
Like
not just
Minecraft
creative
and
tools. Yeah,
yeah.
loads of stuff. I do see benefits of it. So it's weird, but yeah, we're definitely right in the middle. When did you? This is a question I was going to ask before. When did you have your first drink? Alcoholic beverage.
18
Were
on
you?
my 18th birthday.
Were you?
Yeah. Not because my parents were strict or anything like that. My dad is pretty overprotective. But I don't know. I was a good girl. I was a good girl. I didn't.
We used to go out for Sunday dinner, we did.
Uh-huh.
And I used to have shandy. My dad used to get me a shandy.
Whoa, rock and roll.
Yeah, no, yeah. But I don't know what age, again, I don't know what age that was. Maybe 16?
Yeah.
And or maybe, I don't know. 15, 16 maybe? We used to have one shandy on a Sunday. But I do remember, there were times when I remember drinking with friends,
Yeah.
but underage, definitely
Mm.
underage. And yeah, I remember falling over. Do you remember Asda used to be in Tesco? Asda in Tesco. Asda in Wrexham used to be.
Where Island Green is now.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember.
And there was like a barrier outside, and there was a big bank down there. I remember I must have been 17. I would say I was 17. And I remember drinking, probably just cheap cider with friends. Yeah, and friends. And then I remember trying to walk home, and I was gone. When you just drink too much. And I tripped over the barrier, and I fell all the way down the bank to the bottom.
There was a car park or a road, wasn't there?
Yeah, but it was just a grass bank all the way down the bottom, and I fell all the way down the bottom, rolling over, drunk. Oh my God. I would love to. I wish there was loads of CCTV. I wish there was mobiles then that someone would have filmed that, because I'd love to see that.
100% would have filmed you if they had a mobile phone.
Yeah, but they didn't.
100%. That's what kids do these days, isn't it?
I know. How old do you feel? That's the question. We are grown up now. We're 42.
I actually hate sometimes being an adult. I do.
Yeah.
I do. I keep weirdly, before we did this, the reason why we decided to do this episode about growing up, I've been thinking about it a lot lately. I don't know whether that's because I'm
being old.
No, yeah, probably because I'm getting older, but like thinking about, do you know what? Do you know what I think it is? Because when I'm scrolling, I get caught up in the scroll hole as well on TikTok. But when I'm looking through TikTok lately, they've got all these like videos of like the 90s. If you grew up in the 90s, you would have had, and then there's all these pictures and it just, I don't know, it just reminds me of really, really good times. I think the 80s, probably the 90s, that's the year that we grew up, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
We were 10 in 1992.
91 for me.
You were 91, but I was 92. So I think the 90s is when you grew up, but like there's music that I listen to, like, oh my God, this was out when I was such and such an age, and it kind of ignites all these.
You're a bit of a politician, because that has got nothing to do with the question that I asked you.
What did you ask me?
How old do you feel? When do you think in your head that do you always think you're 42? Or
I'm not 42, love.
Huh?
I'm not 42.
41 then. Whatever you are.
You're older than me, love.
What I'm 42, aren't I?
Yes, you're
Yeah,
40.
I'm 42.
Only
Yeah.
just. This
Yeah.
is like we only have like a certain amount of time
When
where
I-
we're exactly the same
Yeah,
age.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm 41. When I look in the mirror, my body feels 41,
Yeah.
but I don't think my face looks 41.
I
I'm
don't.
quite lucky with how my face looks.
I still in my head. I think I'm still in my 20s somewhere. I think, but I don't feel 42 but I just sort of think in my head. I don't forget how old I am and think I'm in my 20s, but it's sort of in your head. I'm still young.
Yeah, but I bet you couldn't go out on an all-nighter like you
Could
used
I
to.
bollocks? No chance. I remember when I used to go out, we used to drink in the house. We'd maybe go out. It depends on what sort of night out. There was nights out when we used to go out early. So you'd start bang at it early. Yeah. Drinking, pub here, drink there, pub, drink. Yeah, and you used to do it nice and early. But like on Saturdays, if you go out on a Saturday or something like that, you used to drink in the house or drink in the local pub and maybe go out at about 11. 11 o'clock? Are you mental? I want to be back by 11. I don't want to still be out 11. I certainly don't want to be going out 11.
We've organised a Christmas night out with my brother and our sister-in-law.
Yeah.
And
Early.
And we're going out early. So, but it's actually we go out about we do like
Afternoon.
an afternoon, so we're home for like 6 because obviously we've all got kids. And yeah, we'd like to be back early, but we're going out. We're going to be out a little bit later this time.
Yeah, because do you know what happens? I'm always the same. I think we're pretty much at the end of growing up now because we've come right up to date, haven't we? But
Yeah.
this is me, right? I will go out,
Yeah.
whatever time, doesn't matter. And you have a drink and you go, this is quite nice being out because we don't go out that often.
No, we don't.
It's nice being out, this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have another drink.
Yeah.
Right, so I'll have another drink, right? I'll have 2 and I'll go, hey, yeah. And then I'll have another one, right? And you have a third one and my brain goes, it's Saturday night. I've got 3 pints in me. Let's go for it. Let's go for it, right? And let's stay out till 2 in the morning, right? Or 2 in the morning. It's not even late these days, 2 in the morning, is it? But let's stay out, right? Let's have another one. Should we have a shot, right? My brain starts doing all this stuff. But then, because I'm 42 and I look around and I'm just surrounded by mums and dads, right? And then so you go, right, okay, so I'll just have another pint. I have one more pint after that, and my head goes, what are you thinking about, dickhead? Let's get home. Let's get home. Have you seen what time it is? It's like Cinderella. Honestly, it's like Cinderella, but not at midnight. It's like 9 at night.
That's that late.
That's my Cinderella moment. 9 o'clock at night, going, come on. Where's the park and ride bus? Let's get back to the car.
Let's get our kid.
Let your wife drive you home, and let's just have. You can have a couple of beers in the house. That's your limit. Get to bed.
Yeah.
And that's me, I think.
Oh, it's sad, isn't it?
It is sad.
Growing up sucks.
It does suck, but hopefully we've got many more years of it to come.
Yeah.
We're still growing up, I think. I don't think you
I
ever.
think I am.
I don't think you ever fully grow up.
I think I'm still quite. I'm still. I'm not.
Oh wow, what a description! Thanks for all them
I
words,
couldn't
which
think of
meant
the word.
absolutely nothing. Anyway,
Yeah.
thank you so much for tuning in again this week. It's been fun. We enjoy it. And we hope you enjoy our nonsensical ramblings about growing
What
up.
would you like us to talk about?
Yeah, we're running out of titles for episodes now.
Tell us what you'd
this
like
was
us to
Sean's idea
discuss.
last minute. So we'd love to hear from you about what you'd like to hear us talking about. That would be great.
Yep, get in touch on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, or you can email the For Better For Worse podcast at gmail.com.
Yes, please do. And we will see you again next Friday. Love you all.
Love you, bye.